What are you going to do on the 21st when you wake up? I don't know where you're going to be when you wake up, but you're going to wake up someplace where you're not president.
Well, here's one thing: is I'm not setting my alarm. That I'm certain of. That I'm absolutely positive of. I'm going to spend time with Michelle, and we got some catching up to do. We've both been busy.
Yeah. President Barack Obama back in 2017, envisioning his first day as a former president. Joining us now, former editor-in-chief of Time, Nancy Gibbs. She is co-author of the book, The President's Club, Inside the World's Most Exclusive Fraternity. Also with us, author and NBC News presidential historian, Michael Beschloss. Where do we begin with how different this is going to be?
My gosh. Well, Nancy, you and Michael have... you just really have written the book. You've written the book on the President's Club. It's extraordinary. And what I found so interesting is that whether it was a transfer of power between Truman and Ike, whether it was the very funny, in parts, unintentionally funny transfer between Ike and JFK, I mean, you name it. People that don't especially like each other or even respect each other have figured out a way to do this with the grace and the dignity that the Obamas showed, that Truman showed, that Eisenhower showed, that every president has shown, that the Carters, my God, the Carters were heartbroken, but were so dignified when the Reagans came into office. Yep. So this really is a breach.
It really is. It's very different. And, one thing that's remarkable is, of course, Joe Biden recognizes the power of seeing former presidents together. And that's what we'll see at Arlington tomorrow. It's an incredible signal of continuity of the larger bipartisan purpose of the club, that you do what is best for the country. And that's why even, as you say, those presidents who didn't much like each other still found ways to work together. Think of that note that President Bush left for President Clinton saying, I am rooting for you to succeed. And that has been the motto of the club all along, that the good of the country comes first and they find ways to help one another.
And Michael Beschloss, we have so many examples of that. I mean, George H.W. Bush, brokenhearted when he lost, and confounded how this guy, how Bill Clinton, of all people, that most of his supporters didn't think was worthy of being an American president, how he wrote that note, showed great dignity. He stayed out of Bill Clinton's way, and in the process actually became a father figure to President Clinton.
Whoever would have imagined? And you're absolutely right, Joe. The morning of the inauguration of 1993, Barbara and George Bush and their dog are standing on the front step. Clintons get out of the car, and George Bush shakes hands with Chelsea and says, welcome to your new home. That's the way it's supposed to be. And the other thing, Joe, is that, as you and Willie and Mika and Nancy all know, ex-presidents are really expensive. We pay a lot of money for their staff. We pay for expenses of their offices. We pay for a lot of things. In Donald Trump's case, do we all want to pay for someone who may still be plotting against our government, who may be using our money to call up or communicate with people who are planning another insurrection? Or let's talk about intelligence briefings. As Nancy has written, Nixon used to send Al Haig, his chief of staff, down to Texas to brief LBJ personally about what was going on secretly in the Vietnam War. Is that what we want to do for Donald Trump? He might sell those secrets to a foreign power or to someone else. Is he someone that a president would want to lean on for diplomatic advice? Hard to imagine. And the other thing is, you remember when Osama bin Laden was killed? Barack Obama got word to all the former presidents that he was about to announce that Osama was finally gone, the scourge was over. Are you really going to tell a secret like that to Donald Trump and expect him to keep that secret until the president speaks?
God, no.
I mean, sometimes you can't suspend disbelief.
It'll be interesting to see if that standard has changed for Donald Trump. That's something that national security officials will have to grapple with. And Nancy, as we look at this inauguration tomorrow, the events before, during, and after, they've always been symbolic in many ways, and we've taken them for granted in many ways, but they have heightened importance this year. We're just getting word that Joe Biden invited Mitch McConnell to church with him tomorrow before the inauguration, and Mitch McConnell has accepted. So we'll see Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell, someone who sort of went along for a while here after the election with the idea that it ought to be investigated whether or not Joe Biden actually was elected president. Joe Biden's going to invite him there. Joe Biden's welcoming Mike Pence to the inauguration. Obviously, he's not going to have that moment where Donald Trump and Melania welcome the Bidens to the White House. I think Joe Biden's perhaps just as happy to miss that. But why are these moments so important as we look at them in a new light now?
Well, right now they're especially important, and Joe Biden has signaled this all the way through, that he is going to be the president of all Americans, whether or not they voted for him. And that was never the signal that President Trump was sending. President Trump's signal was much more transactional. If you voted for me, I will remain loyal to you. And
hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.